Hi, this is Susan again from the Quiltery in Fairfield, Virginia, and we're continuing our tutorial on our Tales of Ireland St. Patrick's Day themed quilt. This is block 6 and it's called the Connemara flower block. So I think it's really interesting to look at, and it was very easy to put together. Now, since we have made flying geese on almost everything, we've done stitch and flip corners, and the last tutorial we showed you how to make the flying geese, or the mountain as I like to call it. To me, it's more like a mountain. I don't see a goose, but I'll tell you what, I think there are more ways to make flying geese than there are actual geese in the world. So everybody will find the way that they see fit to make their flying geese. I just stuck by the pattern because that's the way I want to teach it today, from the way that the pattern spells it out. So as you can see, we've made 4 pink ones and we've made 4 of the dark green ones. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is make half square triangles. And what we're going to do, I have taken a larger piece for demonstration purposes. Our half square triangles are these little guys that are one color on one side and another color on the other side. So those are called half square triangles, and you can see that they help to make our stars. Okay, so I've got a 3.5 inch square here, and actually I've got 2. I've put them right sides together, same size, and then I want to show you this wonderful tool. I have one at home, but we do have these at the store. This is called the Quilter's Magic Wand, and you can see once this little plastic film is taken off, you'll be able to see it better. But there is a line right down the center here, and there's a 1/4 inch on either side of that line. So you put your line in the corners of your block, and you're gonna just use your friction pen on either side of this magic wand. Okay, and then you take your magic wand off, and that's what you've got. Okay, so you're going to, next step, stitch on the lines that you've drawn. Okay, you're going to stitch on the lines, and then you're going to, of course I would use the rotary cutter, but the scissors were handy, so I'm going to use those. You would cut down the center from one end of the corner to the other end of the corner. Now then, when you fold those back, look, you've got one color on one side and one color on the other side. Now you're going to notice you've got these tails, and they're kind of wonky, and you don't know exactly what size they're going to be. These were 3.5. I've got this awesome tool that I recently learned how to use, and I'm going to put this on here. So this is a 3.5 inch half square triangle, and you're going to see this is the triangle square up ruler by Quilt in a Day, and it's got all these markings on it. It's got 1/2 inches on this side and hole on this side. So depending on what size of half square triangle you're trying to make, or that you have made, we are going to say it's going to finish to 3 inches. Okay, so I'm going to put that 3-inch line right on my stitch line, right there where I stitched. And I'm going to take, there's not a lot, but that's okay. Take my rotary cutter, and I'm just going to take that skinny little bit off there. Okay, and then it's going to be squared up. You're still going to have your little ends, and then when you press it, try to press from the center out, and that way you'll keep it square. And then you can just cut these little doodads off on the end, because your machine isn't going to want to go over those. So there you've got your half square triangle, and once you press it down, it's going to should be a perfect 3-inch square. Okay, now these are different sizes than what I'm showing you, but just follow your directions. This is how you do it. Just make sure you do it to the right size as what the pattern specifies. Okay, now what we have done is we've put a flying goose on each side of our center block, and over here we have attached a flying goose to a 2-inch square on either side, here and here. So we've got 3 rows here. We've got this row and this row and this row. And we've put them all, when we put them all together, they make our star center block, okay? So this flying goose that we've made out of the dark and our half square triangles are gonna come next. So what we're gonna do, we are going to put our half square triangles on either side of our 3.5 by 2-inch rectangles. You can see they're here and here. And then we have also put a 2-inch square on either side of our flying goose here. So we've got this piece. And we're gonna put our, I believe this is a 3.5-inch square. We're gonna put one of those here and here. So you've got a row here and a row here. And you've got this, okay? So your next row is gonna be, you're gonna take this section that you've made and you're gonna put one on either side of your star. So your rows are gonna be top, middle, and bottom, okay? And then you're gonna stitch those together. Now, when you're putting them together, pay attention to which way your seams are gonna go in the back. As you can see, I pressed my seams out on the center, and then when you come back to do the next row, you press them the opposite way, and you'll be able to feel, when you start to pin them together, you'll feel that there's a seam on the left and a seam on the right, okay? And that's called nesting your seams. So it just makes it go together nicely, and it gives you this nice crisp point at each corner, okay? That's what we strive for anyway. They may not be perfectly done every time, but that's kind of the goal. Now, when I'm finished with this, I'm gonna take my 12.5-inch square and I'm gonna lay it over top, and I can see if there's anything hanging over, we're just gonna cut that off with our rotary cutter. And as you can see, as I explained in the last lesson, I've got my line here and my line here going right through the center square, which is what you want. And then it comes out to your corner and down to this corner, okay? So have fun with the Connemara flower block. I think it's very pretty and it would look great in all different kinds of fabrics. So hold on to this pattern and make it again maybe. Thanks for joining us. Bye.